Hi guys, it's Miss Harding. I'm here today to tell you guys a little bit more about your math homework for Monday. Today's objective is to be able to look at a group of objects and tell what kind of fraction can be used to describe that group of objects. So I'm going to show you some examples so that when you get to it, you'll know exactly what to do. Okay, so I'm going to flip my camera around and show you what I've made. Okay guys, let's say you're looking at these markers here and you can tell that they're different kinds of colors. If I wanted to make a fraction about these markers, I need to first of all know how many markers I have. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 markers. That's the total number of markers that I have. And I'm going to put that underneath a line. This is going to become my fraction. Now let's say I want to tell how many markers are pink. I can see that 3 of them are pink out of 7. So 3 out of 7 are pink. So on my fraction line, I'll put a 3. That line right there for your fraction, it's kind of like saying the words out of. So I know that 3 out of 7 are pink. And I'll even just put equals pink. Okay, we'll do another one. Taking a look at the blue markers. Oh, I should throw another one in because otherwise we'll have the same fraction. Okay, now I know that there's 4 blue markers. So I'll put 4 on top of my fraction. And then it was 7 markers, but because I added that blue, there's 8 markers total. So including the blue ones, there's 8. So 4 out of 8 equals blue. Now, if you really want to get into it and make it a different fraction name, you can take a look at it and maybe you can tell that half of them are blue and half of them are not blue. So I could also say, if I wanted to, 1/2 equals blue. But we might get into that kind of thing a little bit later. If you can do 4 out of 8 and understand what that means, then you're doing great. Okay, so for today's math assignment, we're going to ask you guys to go around your house and try to find some objects that you can put together. You saw me just mess around with some markers. It could be markers, other art supplies, stuff from your kitchen, little tiny toys, M&Ms. It could be anything you like. Gather some things together, and then you're going to write on a paper. You're going to draw a picture of what you found and then try to write some fractions to go with it. And I'm going to turn my camera around again and I'll show you guys what that might look like. All right, guys, so for my objects, I went ahead and grabbed some fruit here on my table. I've got 6 limes, 1 lemon, and 2 oranges. And just for later on, you'll see on my paper, it'll make sense. 2 of those limes are kind of hard and dried out, so that'll make sense later for when I'm showing you my fractions. So the first step then after you gather your objects is to draw a picture and label your objects. So here's a picture of what I've drawn to just show my 1 lemon, 6 limes, and 2 oranges. I also jotted down that there are 9 total pieces of fruit because that's going to help me later when I'm making my fractions, because I know that that 9 is going to belong on the bottom of all my fractions. That bottom number, when you're talking about bottom numbers on a fraction, that number is called the denominator. Okay, so I know that 9 is going to be my denominator for my fractions because that's my total number of pieces of fruit. Okay, so once you've done the picture, then you're going to write as many fractions as you can think of to describe what you've got. We are looking for at least 5 fractions, but we'll see how many you guys can come up with. So over here on this side of my paper is where I decided to write my fractions out, and I told what each fraction means. That's kind of important too. We want you guys to describe what each fraction means. So I know out of all my fruit, I only have 1 lemon. So I put 1 out of 9 are lemons. So 1 out of 9 pieces of fruit are lemons. I know I have 6 limes. So 6 out of 9 are limes. I know that I had 2 oranges. So 2 out of 9 are oranges. Right? Oh, I need to put an S on there because 2 out of 9 are oranges. And then 2 out of 9 of the pieces of fruit are kind of hard. Remember I mentioned 2 of those limes were kind of not feeling so good anymore. So they were kind of hard. And then 9 out of 9 pieces, they're just all fruit. The whole thing is a group of fruit. So I could say 9 out of 9 are pieces of fruit. Now, I finished and right away I'm like, oh, I feel like I'm done. I can't think of any more. But if you give yourself a chance, you might think of more after you've thought about it a while. Because as soon as I finished up this paper, I realized, hey, I have 0 bananas. So I could have said, let's see if I can squeeze it in here. I could have said 0 out of 9 equals 0 out of 9 are bananas. So you might be able to come up with a lot more things if you just give yourselves a little time to think. Okay, that's it for today for math. Please do your very best and maybe have someone at home check your fractions to make sure you've got it and you're on the right track. All right, bye guys.